When it comes to Burning Crusade, would we like to see no changes or changes? Today I'll highlight some of the things that I find important to talk about. I'm also interested in your opinion on each topic and if there's actually things that you would like to see being changed that I haven't mentioned. In Classic, you can turn in marks for experience, but on some TBC private servers they've actually disabled this and even the CG can't turn in. In my opinion, then I would prefer if they didn't give experience in Burning Crusade as well, else the leveling race will be done in a few hours, and it was actually really entertaining to watch the race for World's First 60. Another thing I find important to talk about is the leveling. Yeah, we might get a lot of layers, but expect the leveling to be constantly interrupted by PvP, and you will pretty much be forced to play on a PvE server if the next thing that I show you is not changed. So there's a quest in Caverns of Time. It will tell you to follow an NPC, and this quest will take around 10 minutes. The same quest is also a very important part for your Karazhan attunement. I guess you can imagine what will happen if you're almost done with the quest, but the opposite faction is at the area. What I suggest is to make areas like this sanctuary. Dark Portal actually have this enabled already. Another thing that could be done would be to make important locations require you to have PvP enabled before people could simply attack you. The next thing is professions. If you have alts at level 50, then you can use them to craft profession cooldowns in Burning Crusade. It actually takes away a lot of the progression, as the gear you can craft with these cooldowns is biz for a long time. What could be done would be to make all TBC cooldowns require you to be level 65 or higher. That way the gearing process also become a bit more challenging, instead of everyone being able to craft full epic sets within a few days, because they already have done the leveling in Classic. Arena items require team and personal rating to be purchased, but this was not the case for the first 2 seasons in Burning Crusade. Would you like to see them add this into season 1 and 2 as well, and that way make it more challenging to actually get the gear, or would you like them to actually just keep it the original way? I would personally prefer the items to have some sort of rating requirement, as it would make those items more difficult to get, and that way also make it feel way more rewarding. In TBC there's vendors with rare recipes, just like in Classic, and if they keep the long recharge time for these to show up, then some professions will struggle a lot when they have to compete for the recipe. Other professions have no limited amount of recipes from the vendor, and it might be better to add this to all professions. I used to make scripts that allowed me to instantly buy the recipes whenever they showed up, and that made me thousands of gold every single day on TBC private servers. The same will happen in TBC Classic, as many will not use the recipe but actually resell them. The last thing is race and faction change. Would you like them to introduce this in Burning Crusade, to make sure you can keep all your progression instead of having to reroll? I'm a bit unsure about the race change, because I would actually rather prefer a pre-patch where people had a few months to level their Drain Eyes or Blood Elves to 60 and even gear them a bit. Regarding the faction change, then I'm for sure against this, because that would make a lot of people swap to Horde, because it's always preferred in TBC due to the racials. I know we did not used to have faction or race change in original TBC, but in original vanilla you could not server transfer to, and in Classic this is actually an option. What is your opinion on these topics? Let me know in a comment below the video. The last thing I want to say is thank you so much for helping me reach 4,000 subscribers on YouTube.